Today on the hot sheet, we are discussing all the news from the new CPI data that just released this morning. Today is September 13th, 2023. I'm Byron Lazine, and the hot sheet starts now. Okay, you may be surprised. Byron Lazine is not here today. He is jet setting around the world as the jet setter that he is. In the comments, do me a huge favor. Write in the most obnoxious way or just the worst comment ever about where you think Byron's flying around in the world. Just the best, worst one, right? Like I'm thinking that he's going to Alaska to fight polar bears. I want you to write in the comment to where you think he's coming in from. Also, I want to hear where you're tuning in from as we get started on the hot sheet today. Lots of really, really great news coming through. But I want to start with this. Over about last week, on last Friday, we had in Austin, elite agents, Byron attended, and the broke agent himself, Eric Simon, attended. It was an amazing, amazing event. A lot of great information was shared. So I want to thank everybody that showed up for that. If you're looking for another really, really great event to go to, you're in luck. BAM Camp is coming up on the 20th of September in Naples, Florida. There are a handful of tickets left. I would buy up the rest of them and bring my entire team. So maybe you should do that as well. Use the BAMX discount for 25%. Use your BAMX discount for 25%. Sign up for BAMX as well. Now, look, let's set a record for the most BAMX signups. So here we go with the code Jeremy I shot for 10% off. Now, I was going to give whoever wrote the best comment of where you think he is at right now, Byron is, I was going to give you 10% off. In fact, I was going to give you just a free membership, but Bobby is sitting over here doing this to me saying, don't do that. So if you're looking for another really great event as well, look for, I keep calling it FubuCon. Bobby had to tell me 3 times. It's called FubCon 2023, 6 keynotes, 5 hands-on breakouts, 35 plus speakers, 0 filter, all 3 action-packed days. You'll walk away with a playbook for scaling your business and staying resilient through any challenge. This is September 25th through 28th in LA. Thank you for the comments. Everybody is just absolutely crushing it today. Use your promo code BAM_VIP30 for the 30% off for the first ticket. Also, additional ticket is 55% off. So buy those for your friends and invite them. Let's get into the CPI information. This is all coming out hot and heavy. The one thing that we're going to want to know is real estate agents, how is this going to affect interest rates? Obviously, we know that CPI doesn't necessarily affect interest rates, but on top of that, when the Fed comes out and announces their raises every month, which they've been doing pretty much incessantly except for last month, that is going to impact the 10-year treasury yield. So we are going to want to see that, what's happening there. So overall, let's look at the takeaways from the CPI. Overall inflation, the CPI-U rose 0.06% in August on a seasonally adjusted basis after a 0.02 increase in July over the last 12 months. So what's interesting is this actually increased 3.7% before it's seasonally adjusted. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that. There's one that's really, really in particular, and we'll go into a little bit of details, but I want to hear from you in the comments. Hey, Rebecca, how's it going? I want to hear from you in the comments. If you happen to wake up and see this increase of 3.7%, I want to hear from you. What do you think that actually is going to mean for your clients, for the market, and for everything? We saw pretty much yesterday when the futures came out that the futures are trying to drop between 0.1 and 0.03%. So we did see some drops in the futures yesterday going into today. In fact, we'll look at the stock market here in a little bit. Drivers of inflation. So this is what's really, really important. I think what all of us probably felt over the last 2 months, but really over August. And for those that joined us in Austin, they got to feel the amazing, beautiful heat. Even Bobby was sweating his eyebrows off. So it was pretty hot. So the one driver was gasoline prices were the largest contributor to the monthly increase, accounting for over half of the rise in all items. Additionally, shelter index, in fact, if you want to pull that up, Bobby, the shelter index continued to advance as well. marking the 40th consecutive monthly increase. The energy index as a whole rose 5.6% in August, and the food index increased 0.02. So here's shelter. So this is one thing that we're always keeping an eye on as real estate agents, but shelter increased, and that's a pretty substantial increase in August, even with the adjusted. So if we're looking at this and our clients are saying it's getting even more expensive to buy, well, there you go. This is a good illustration of that. The shelter index increased 0.03% over the month after rising 0.04% in each of the preceding 2 months. So continuing to increase. This is the 40th consecutive monthly increase. 40th consecutive monthly increase. That is not good. As we see interest rates rise and people trying to buy homes, we still have to be reminded that a lot of people that own homes, this doesn't necessarily affect them the same way, because some of these people are locked into under 3% interest rates. Some of them, as Byron has talked in the past, that a lot of people have no mortgage at all. So the index for homeowners equivalent rent increased 0.04% over the month. Lodging away from home index increased 3% in August. That probably has a lot to do with gasoline costs and getting people in properties, or in rentals. It's the third consecutive decrease. So, sorry, I said that wrong. Lodging away from home index decreased 3%. That's probably, with the cost of travel going up, probably people weren't, traveling as much. The shelter index has the largest factor in the monthly increase in the index for all items less than food and energy. I think we have a slide for that as well. Food prices. So this is what's really interesting as you're heading out, getting food, doing all those fun things. The food index increased 0.02% in August. We would have liked to seen that come down. In fact, we'd love to see all of these things come down. But if you're comparing that to gasoline prices, and I have an anecdote to add there later, but if you're looking at that, these increases don't necessarily help at all. But the food index increased 2% in August. Food at home increased by 2%. So I love a good bacon and egg in the breakfast. What's your favorite breakfast food, by the way? Did you see your bacon costs go up? Because I love bacon. There you go. Quotes of the day, Jeremy Knight. I love bacon. Thanks for the clarification, Eric. Checking in from Cincy. Eric said he would shadow ban an Instagram for me if I did say sorry to anyone. Okay, so let's keep rolling. So far, what are you thinking about these increases? Because I know what you're thinking at the back end of this, right? We're trying to get inflation under control. Is the Fed going to increase interest rates again, which is the Fed fund rate, which will impact us as consumers? We're going to get to that in a second, because that's what we all want to hear. Energy costs. So I think we have a slide for energy costs as well. The energy index increased significantly by 5.6% in August, primarily driven by 10.6% increase in gasoline prices. Other energy components such as electricity and natural gas also saw increases. In the Austin area, I literally just saw this morning that Austin Energy is going to raise energy costs again. Now, look, let's be honest. August is one of the hottest months in Austin. We had, 60, 65 days in a row of 100-degree weather. Went out to walk my dogs this morning, was pleasantly surprised by some rain. If you're getting rain in your area and loving it, drop a comment below. Hot take, Nan is the best breakfast sandwich bread. Better Way Home. I'm going to have to try that. You can send some over to Austin. I will definitely try it. So let's get into core inflation numbers, because obviously we know energy costs went up. It was hot. How hot was it in your area? Was it unreasonably hot? Drop a comment. I want to hear from you in there. Jody says food has gone up significantly. Slow uptick for sure. These are one of the things, if you're a consumer and you're thinking about buying a home, yet it's costing you more to pay for fuel, to get places. It's costing more to eat. You're less thinking about a home and more thinking about protecting your family and all those things. So really good information there. Greenville, South Carolina gets rain every week. We'll bring some of that rain to Austin, so I'll definitely love that. All right. Core inflation. This is what's really important here. This is where most of the economists are looking at is at core inflation and whether they're going to raise or not raise Fed fund rates. What's interesting to note about this before I talk about it, though, CPI shows the biggest increase in inflation in 14 months. For all this hope that we would be bringing down inflation, this isn't necessarily the best news. It's not the worst news, because a lot of that was eaten up by gasoline and fuel costs. So here we go. Core inflation, the index for all items less food and energy rose by 0.03% in August. So not as bad as an increase. We would love to see that number go down. This core inflation measure increased for categories like rent, motor vehicle insurance, medical care, personal care, while some like lodging away from home, which we talked about, used cars and trucks and recreation decreased. If you're one of those people that bought a car for an absolutely crazy amount, not in the last year, like literally in the last year, 2 years, are you looking at the fact that motor vehicles are coming down going, should have waited? I know I am. Okay. Annual inflation over the last 12 months ending in August. All of these items index increased by 3.7%, which is higher than the 3.2 increased for a 12-month ending in July. So look, they were anticipating, everybody was anticipating a slight increase, but not this much. And a lot of it had to do with fuel. The core index, excluding food and energy, increased by 4.3% over the same period. Not as good as we had hoped. So the major question is, and I want you to start dropping in the comment, do you think, based on this information for August, that we're going to see a Fed fund rate increase? Because that's what you want to hear. It's going to impact us as agents, it's going to impact your clients. Obviously right now I'm looking at the 10-year treasury based on this information. The 10-year treasury is sitting at, I don't know if you have that, Bobby. It is sitting at 4.276. Interest rates I saw yesterday, I used the daily mortgage, the mortgage daily news, and it was at what, 7.25. What if you're dealing with clients right now and you're seeing crazy increases? There you go, Bobby. I appreciate that. If you're seeing crazy increases in interest rates, I want you to drop it in the comment. What are your clients seeing? Lenny says yes. Courtney says yes. It's dry heat better than 96 and 85-degree humidity. Living, oh my good man, Misha. Misha, if you need a really good guy in Warner Robins, Georgia, that's the man right there. Okay, so annual inflation over the last 12 months ending in August. I think we just did that. Not seasonally adjusted measure of the CPI-U increased by 3.7 over the last 12 months. On adjusted basis, the CPI-W, a measure specific to urban wage earners and clerical workers, increased by 3.4%. All of that, not what we wanted. Notable categories with the significant price increase over the last year include shelter, motor vehicles, insurance, recreation, personal home. Okay, so I want to talk about something right here. And this is where, this is totally not getting political. Bobby, if you want to pull up not Wall Street, the Fortune article. Here's where things get interesting. So inflation was so bad last year that the real household income tumbled the most in 12 years. So this is what your consumers, what we're facing, everyone's facing, causing families severe economic pain. What's interesting in the second paragraph there, it says the median income last year was $74,580 compared to $76,331 in 2021. So for our clients that are saying that they're not making more money but spending more money, we're seeing this, right? As inflation keeps attacking our clients and attacking us, that's what happens. And then right below that, it says the 2.3 drop in incomes, which was the most since 2010, marked the third straight annual decline, which has been a feature of the past recession like global finance crisis, the dot-com bubble, the downturn in the 90s last year. American families faced the largest annual increase in cost of living adjustment in over 4 decades. So pretty interesting stuff. That's not fun. Yes, Bam, a Ram in the comments representing Austin Well. Thank you, man. So what are your thoughts on this overall? Drop some comments. I want to hear from you. One other thing that I want to talk about, Bobby, is if you want to pull this up too, is that the AP had an article out not too long ago talking, in fact, it was this last week. So if we're talking about fuel and fuel increases, recently the Biden administration had allowed some leases to go through. Some people were not happy about that, but they just announced that they are canceling the rest of the Alaskan oil and gas leases. So if you're looking at potentially dropping oil and gas leases or moving those off, this could cause further inflationary issues, especially since we're seeing in hot months like August, such a huge increase. So what are your overall thoughts? Bobby, you can take that down, man. Thank you. So I'll take some questions here in the comments. Jeremy, who are you voting for? I'm voting for Eric. I'm definitely voting for Eric. So if it drops some comments, I want to answer some things here in the comments. Also, I want to get a comment from you here. If you found this hot sheet to be way better than the one Byron's had put out, I want you to write in the comments just Jeremy rules. Okay. In the comments section, write Jeremy rules. If you think this was the worst one ever and Byron should never step away from the hot sheet, in the comments, write Jeremy rules. I think that's going to be it for today. Yeah. See, there you go. Eric Simon says Simon Lazine 2024. The BAM ticket is the way to go. Lenny says I rule. Thank you very much. So yeah, this was some great information, especially being in the Austin area myself. I'm looking at constantly what's happening with my clients. If you had clients that went under contract in the last couple of weeks that you weren't expecting to, drop a comment below as well, because I've been talking to my clients. 7.2% doesn't seem like it's going to go away. And we want to know, will this increase? Now, going through all the articles that I've went through, it doesn't necessarily look like this information is going to cause the Fed to increase this round. Yet, what everyone is baking into the cake, what the stock market's baking into the cake, is the fact that we will see another increase by the end of the year. If we see another increase by the end of the year, that will affect the 10-year treasury, obviously. Now, look, that doesn't necessarily reflect right away the 10-year treasury, but that does impact businesses. All these business owners that are trying to borrow money, they're borrowing money at a much higher rate. They're having to lay off people in order to do that. So I think what we will see is another rate hike. So this means going into early 2023, I want to hear from you. Do you think early 2023 rates are going to go up? Byron on here has brought up all these articles from everyone talking about rates going to start off at the beginning of the year at 6.5%, 6%. Where do you think rates are going to go from in the beginning of the year? I want to hear from you, because that's really important. I'm looking at it for my clients. I know you're looking at it for your clients. We're trying to help our clients make the best possible decision. But if we see rates creep up into the 8%, was it better to buy at 7.2%? It might be a conversation to have with your clients. Okay, don't forget, if you are going to sign up for BAMX, use Jeremy iShot. I appreciate you there. That's what I got for today. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you on the next hot sheet with Byron and Zine, not me. Have a great day.